Hey, good morning, e-learners. Welcome to Monday's class. I believe all of you took your quiz. The grades are all in the grade book. Just remember, if you scored poorly, I always give any student, as long as it's not the end of the quarter, the ability to retake any quiz or test for a higher grade. I don't do grade corrections like you turn in your quiz or test for you correct your mistakes for a higher grade. I give a full retake. So if you choose to take a retake, you must take the full quiz or the full test again. If that's something you're interested in, send me an email and we will set that up. So let's get going here. Let me share the screen. Oh, and since I didn't make that mention to you guys, I guess I better do that as well. When Gavin finishes his test or quiz, I will hand out all the quizzes. So most of you did fine. In fact, most of you got perfect, or some of you got perfect, I should say, not most. So some of you didn't score so hot. I would say not score so hot is definitely a D or an F. Obviously, F is not passing. And so I always allow anyone to take a retake of any quiz or test, as long as it's not the end of the quarter, it's too late then, for a higher grade. Now, if you got a very high B, I'm probably going to say, hey, stick with that. Because remember, your homework grade is a completion grade, so you should have a perfect A in that. It will always be your homework. But yeah, if you got a C, D, or F, you can absolutely. Now, some of you work your butts off to make a C. Congratulations. But if you're normally an A student and for some reason you didn't study or you weren't prepared and you get a D or God forbid an F on a quiz or test, yeah, you should panic a little bit, right? But let's fix ourselves. If you choose to take a retake, I don't just say, here you go, here's another sheet of paper, get another F on this one. So I require you to get some tutoring of some sort. If you get a D or an F and you want to retake, what I require you is to come to at least one tutoring session after school. So you come to one tutoring session after school, we talk about what you made your mistakes on, we work on some of those problems, and then I generally give you a worksheet, finish. Then I generally give you a worksheet that you must complete. And the worksheet is made up of typically the stuff that you miss. You come back, you turn in your worksheet, and I say, well, we got this now, we're good, we fixed all our mistakes. And then the second tutoring session I'll give you after school, I'll give you a retake. And I used to have great success on this, and you can kind of see the logic behind, hey, I shouldn't just hand you another sheet of paper that allows you to get another F. You got to fix what you didn't originally learn. There we go. All right, any questions on those word problems? We did not say the pledge. Everybody stand. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Once this COVID thing is all over, we at 7:35, 7:40-ish, we in the hallway, we have a group pledge and announcements, but that won't happen until this COVID thing goes away. No questions on 1-6? Oh, my voice is changing. All right. Let's grade this puppy then. All right, it was just 1 through 9, all. 1 through 9, all. 1 through 9, all. All right, questions? I'm looking. Let's go around the room. We'll start over here. Number 1, what'd you get?
I can't solve this.
Yeah, the number of model planes that Sam bought was not given, so you can't solve that one. All right, number 2, what do you got? Helen's father is 3 times as old as Helen. If Helen is 9 years old, then her father must be 27. Okay? Questions? Number 3. Store advertised at $7. How much will 5 cost? That'd be 7 times 5. That would be 35. Ace, you got your homework? All right, very good. Number 4. Look at your paper in front of you. Right there. Look at number 4.
I did the wrong figure.
Oh, you did the wrong? Yeah, he had that look of, I've done the wrong homework on me. All right, let's see, number 4. While on vacation, the Westman family drove 200 miles a day. How far did they drive during their vacation? Yeah, I can solve that one, or can I?
You can run because you don't have the number of days to drive.
Very good.
2 days they would drive.
Very good. All right, who are we on? All right, Ace, number 5.
I did the same mistake. I did
What?
the wrong homework.
How did you do wrong homework? What do you mean wrong homework?
I did a different thing.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if I made a mistake here. What's it say?
Page 20.
It says page 20. I'm on page 20. I guess maybe possibly you could have done the review exercises, but it says page 20, written exercises. I'm looking at it. That's exactly what it says. Right? All right. Go.
We're on number 5.
We are.
Maria's car gets 10 more miles.
Let's see. Bill's car gets 27 miles per gallon. Maria's car gets 34. Yeah, there's some other numbers there for the year, but that's just basically a subtraction problem, right? So what did you get? 7? 7 miles per gallon more than Bill's. All right, very good. Number 6.
Are you gonna read it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So you just write 4 by 36, you get 9.
Yeah, does anybody know what a cord of wood is?
What?
It's C-O-R-D. When they talk about wood, and they're talking about wood for a fireplace to burn, right? There's a stack of wood, right? You've probably seen stacks of wood. They measure those things in cord. Now, I'm not going to make a claim that I actually know what that means. I think I generally know what it means. It's a cord is a specific height, width, and length. So it's basically a rectangular prism, and it's a big stack of wood, right? When they say a cord, typically when you buy wood, hey, I want to buy a cord of wood or 2 cords of wood, something like that.
That equals 9 centimeters.
Yes, correct. All right, I will grade the rest. Put how many you missed on the top. For my passerelle picker-uppers. Over here, some of you guys. You guys are very sleepy this morning. I know it's Monday. It happens. Pass out. Collect. Jaden can barely keep her head up. All right, here is your homework for tonight. Oh, what's going on? Look at the board. What's going on this week? Test when?
Wednesday.
And I know some of you are funny type thing, but one thing that really annoys me when it's true, not when people do please don't do it, but Wednesday will come around and someone will literally say, guess what? What, there's a test today? Right? I show you this slide every single day, unless it's a 3-week chapter, which I don't think we have one in this course. Unless it's a 3-week chapter, you can see when the test is throughout the chapter. There should be no surprises. There's your homework. Copy down. Miss Garland, do you know what a cord of wood is? I'm asking because I don't know the dimensions. Visually, I know basically what it looks like. It's big, right? It's like a pickup truck full of wood type thing. But I don't know that. It's something like, we'll look it up here. Oh, Siri would know, wouldn't she? Hey, Siri, how big is a cord of wood?
1 cord is equivalent to a volume of 128 cubic feet.
128 cubic feet, but I was looking for more. It's a height, it's a width, and it's a length. We'll look it up at the end. Thank you. Okay. I'm only giving you 7 problems. What could that mean? No. There were problems, right? All right, here we go. Oh, problem-solving applications. They're really torturing themselves to try to give a name for the section that basically means more word problems. Okay, these are definitely going to be slightly more challenging than the previous ones. So, more word problems. You're probably like this girl when I say word problems.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And you throw your math book into the trash, right? Okay, please don't do that. Don't be too intimidated by word. I'll just say this. They're slightly more challenging, but not that much more. Recall from last class, I gave you a method. Now, it's not like it's the perfect method, and everyone, wow, you just show me all my problems. Now I've got it all figured out. I've never seen one of those guides that turns word problems into something very simple. But I did give you this guide. So once more, write RUPSR vertically on your paper. RUPSR, it's an acronym. RUPSR. And Jaden, what does the R stand for? The first thing you do with a word problem. It starts with the letter R. You must. You got it? No, you must read. Read the problem, not just once, not just twice, but multiple times. Now, granted, some people might read it once and say, oh, I know exactly what to do. I would still caution you, read it a second time. If there's a mistake to be made in a word problem, generally, it's because you may know what to do, but you may not answer the question. The U stands for, anybody remember? Understand. Well, how do you understand? Well, you look at the facts. If you're trying to find what it's asking, look to see if there's a question mark. Not always the case, right? How many marbles does he have? Hey, that's a question mark. Find out the area of a triangle, though, is not a question. It's a statement, but that actually is what they want you to do. Find the area of the triangle. So it'll either be a statement or a question. And it's not always that the last sentence is the question, but it's a pretty good bet that most of the time it is. The P stands for, anybody? That's why we're doing this again. Plan, right? Pick a strategy that helps you solve the word problem or understand it even better. My go-to one is to draw a picture, but there are others, like acting it out. I mean, like literally moving your body somehow to show the movement. Not one today, but this year we will get to one where we will make the problem easier. We won't actually solve it. We'll just make the problem easier so that we can understand what's going on. Yes? It is. S stands for solve. So at some point, you actually got to do the work. So the S stands for solve. I don't think I ever have a student that doesn't do the S, but I have some students jump right to the S from the very start. And I would encourage you to do all the other three before you try to solve it. I don't know. There's some numbers there. I felt like multiplying them. Well, maybe if you had read it and understood it and made a plan, you would have known it's not just multiplying the numbers, it's subtract the numbers. The last one is the one that you will forget, is to check to see if it's a reasonable answer. Yeah, great. You found out that there were 46 pies. What? It doesn't even sound reasonable unless it's a business.
So
You are packing a dessert for your lunch, and you do all this math, you find out you're packing 46 pies. What? That's not a reasonable answer. It may make your friends happy, unless they're mini pies, right? What?
That's not a reasonable answer. Your mother bakes 10,000 pies.
If she works for, I don't know, what's a company that makes pies? Village Inn. If she works for Village Inn, maybe she makes 46 pies a day.
I said,
That's right. Village Inn does have pies.
Laverne's pies and tire sticks also.
All right. Look at your paper. I believe we have 6 word problems today. 6 word problems. We should probably get to almost all of them. Depends upon you. But I'm just going to say, and I said it on Friday, when I ever do a word problem one, I pick examples that look like the ones I'm assigning for homework. So if you can do these, then at least you have somewhat of a model to help you for your homework. Not guaranteed. They're word problems. They're all unique. They're all unique. Hey, do me a favor. I know it's Monday. Heads up. Off the desk. Thank you. Me, if it's a Monday, if I put my head down, I'll be asleep. All right, thank you. Okay, so we'll do the first example. Who wants to read? Go, read, loud and proud.
During the four quarters of a basketball game, the Hoopsters
Apparently that's the name of the team.
scored 16 points, 21 points, 19 points, and 17. How many points did they score the entire game?
Okay, for me, I'm gonna read it again, read again, read again. Oh, I see some numbers up there. Oh, I see a question mark. Maybe I read it a third time. This Hoopster thing kind of throws you off. It's capitalized. Maybe it's the name of the team. It doesn't even make a difference for this problem. All right, read again to yourself. Notice it does have a question mark, therefore, I'm going to go right to the question mark. How many points did they score in the entire game? Now, unless it's some weird game like, I don't know, cricket. Anybody play cricket? Do you know how many quarters are in cricket?
No.
None. Right?
What about
Most of us understand the basketball game has. Now, that might not be true. There might be someone out there like, I've never watched basketball in my life. I don't know how many quarters. If I ever write a word problem where you do not understand what do I do to solve the problem, but you don't understand the scenario. Like, I've never been to a basketball game. I thought there were 3 quarters. Something like that. Please ask. But I think we all know there's 4 quarters in a basketball game. That would be the entire basketball game. And it tells us how many points they make in each quarter. Therefore, who's the genius out there that can tell us what we need to do here? What do you got?
add them all up? Add 16.
Yeah, so we're just basically doing addition. We're going to take the data, 16, 21, 19, 17. That's for first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, right? And the question says, how many did they score in the entire game? So we simply add those suckers up. And at this point, we're kind of done. Like, the hard part is over. We figured out what to do, what we need. All we need to do now is the S and check the reasonable. What would be an unreasonable answer before we even do the math? What's an unreasonable answer? 1. Why would 1 be an unreasonable answer?
Because they're playing for 2.5 hours. How
No. Why is 1 an unreasonable answer?
Because none of the points are worth
What's the smallest number up here?
16.
So what's the smallest we could actually get? So any number bigger than 16 would be, well, actually the largest number is 21. So it's got to be at least bigger than 21, right? Because the other numbers are all positive. So a number bigger than 21 would be a reasonable answer. You could argue, wait a minute, you're adding over 10, over 10. What would be an unreasonable high number? And I don't say a billion, obviously. Give me a thought process of what would be unreasonable.
Like 120.
Why?
Oh,
I'll agree, but you got to tell me why.
because if you just look at the highest number, 25, well, it's
21,
yeah,
sorry.
21, but like 25 times 4 is 100.
Oh, gotcha. I like your thought. So he said, hey, look at the largest number. It's around 25-ish. He's rounding up. 4 times 25, 4 quarters would be 100. It better not be enough. We better not get a number that's bigger than 100. I like that. All right. So we got a low level of 21. It better be bigger than 21. It better be less than 100. That's good logic there, my man. All right. Who's got the answer? At this point, I kind of like, we're good. I mean, the rest is, the whole purpose of this word problem is to figure out what to do and tell me the right thing. What you got?
I got 73 when I added them all up.
Is that what you guys got?
Yep.
All right. So the answer is 73. We're done. Yes?
Nope.
No, we're never done a word problem until we put some context to that number. And then secondly, we make sure we answered the question. You may get 73 and the question actually says, how many more points did they score in quarter 2 than in quarter 1? Right? And those 73 represents all the scores added up, but you may not have answered the question. So who can give me the phrase or sentence to answer this question? Somebody new. Go.
They scored 73 points.
Yeah, and if you really want to be precise, you say the Hoopsters scored 73 points during the entire game. We okay? So you tell me, easy, medium, or hard? Yeah, this was the easy one. All right. Next one. We're going to read. Somebody very loud. Who's a loud person here? We've already determined that she is loud. All right, go. Ace, we'll see if he's loud.
Simon had
Oh my word. There's always that one kid.
Simon had $165 in his checking account. He wrote checks for $33, $19, and $27. How much money is left in his account?
So you guys are, every generation has new things, right? And so back in my generation, I'm pretty old. Yeah, like when I was your age, right? We actually had to learn how to use a checkbook. You even know what that is. So they would bring in a checkbook, and the teacher, it was somewhere around the 7th, 8th, 9th grade, and they would give you checks, and you actually had to fill them out. You had to do the math. You had to figure out what's called balancing your checkbook. I'm probably the only person alive that actually balances, because I'm a math person, that balances a checkbook. Everybody else just says, yep, computer says I got $100 in my bank account. I must have $100. So this is one of those types of questions. The book is written, I don't know, about 20 years ago. And back then, everyone had checking accounts, and nobody did stuff online type thing, or balance your checkbook. So they had to do this. So sometimes you might get a question in this book that you may have to ask a question. What does that mean? Checking account. There's some other words. He wrote a check. So that might not mean anything to you. When you write a check, you are writing I promise I will pay this money. Literally, our system, our economy is set up so that I can take a piece of paper, special piece of paper, right? Do some writing with my hand on it and hand it to someone and walk away with a car. Like, I'm not pulling out money. I'm not pulling out a credit card. I'm taking a piece of, think about that. I'm just taking a piece of paper and writing on it. I hand it to one person. I walk away with a brand new car. Seems kind of weird, right? But this is set up what's called a check. So when you write a check, are you putting money into your account or taking money out of your account? Okay, seems reasonable, right? But sometimes I do have to explain that. So it says Simon had $165 in his checking account. He wrote checks, plural, for this amount of money, right? Back then, 20 years ago, everyone wrote checks. Though people had credit cards, most of the time, people wrote checks. When you paid your bills, you wrote a check. Nowadays, everything's done online. All right, who's the smarty pants that can figure out what we got to do here? Well, let's start calling some people that aren't raising hands here. How about Parker? What do you think we're going to do? So the first thing Parker says we need to do is what? Add up how much we're paying, right? Sounds reasonable. So we know we have $165 to start with. Parker says we need to take what's in green there. We need to add it up. Well, I just said writing check takes money away. Isn't that subtraction? And Parker says the first thing we're going to do is addition. Seems kind of counterintuitive, right? Why are we going to add and not subtract? Parker, go ahead and answer your question. A little bit louder, please. How about you talk so loud that you scare the people around you?
I messed up.
You didn't mess up. You said it correctly. I was trying to get you to think counterintuitively, yes, on this particular problem, you need to add before you subtract. Because what do these three values actually represent, Parker? In green. How much money you are spending. So yes, we are going to add. Is there another way of doing this? Anybody? What?
You could subtract each number.
We would do what? 3 subtractions? You tell me. Do you want to do 3 subtractions or 3 additions and 1 subtraction?
3 additional.
Most people tend to want to do addition and then subtraction. I agree. But what we just said there, we also could do. So I'm going to claim that we're going to do addition first and then subtraction. I think it's what most people would agree. But you certainly could subtract 3 times. 32, then 19, then 47. All right, so we add those suckers up. Anybody already do it? Head up off the desk. Off the desk. No, sit up straight. There we go. Resist the urge. All right, go for it. Yeah. So when he added, he got 98. Here's my quick check. 2 plus 9 plus 7. 8, right? I'm looking at the last digit. He said 98. So at least Excuse me, at least it sounds like a reasonable answer. Okay, so we'll go with his number 98. Looks like we're done, right? We did some math, we got an answer. Woo, we're done. He has $98 in his checking account.
Yeah. No.
See how easy it is to make that mistake? Because we said right here we're doing addition first and then subtraction. Keep talking. Keep talking.
We do 98 minus 165.
Absolutely not. Think about what you just said.
So 165 minus 98.
See how easy that one is to make a mistake?
Yeah.
You could have said from 165 we subtract 98 or 165 minus 98. Okay. What'd you get for final answer?
I got $67.
Okay. Give me the answer in the form of a phrase.
He has $67 left in his checking account.
He's got $67 left in his checking account. Okay. Easy, medium, hard. We better do a medium or a hard one next. Okay. Read all by yourself. Read all by yourself. Get with it. When I look at your paper, I should see things written on your piece of paper, not blanks. It's like playing in the volleyball game and watching all your buddies do all the work, and you're just kind of standing there and like, wow, that ball came close to me that time. You ever watch volleyball where the people like, the ball comes right at them and they kind of just look at it, go right past them?
That's me.
All right. Sue bought 6 pencils at 20 cents, 3 pens at 59 cents, 4 notebooks at 89 cents. I said last class, there is one time you really need to be careful in word problems, and that is any problem dealing with time. Remember that 1 p.m., 11 a.m., was that this class or was that course 2? Okay, good. Yeah, anytime you deal with time, there is a second one you also got to be careful with, and that is money. Why am I saying this one is challenging? It deals with money. Why is money challenging? Go ahead. All right, I do not want to insult your intelligence, but I will. How many pennies?
20.
How many dollars?
0.
Not true. 0.2 or 0.20, right? How many pennies? How many dollars? Do you know the symbol for pennies and dollars? What's the symbol for dollars? And at some point this year, I will give you trivia information of why that's our symbol for dollars. Anybody know?
No.
All right, I'll tell you at some point this year. What's the symbol for cents?
It's a C.
See, okay, that one, it's a Latin root, right? Anybody know it?
Yeah.
All right. There's another bit of trivia, or you'll find out from Mr. Calamella. But yeah, you got to be really careful with dollars and cents, right? Really careful. Okay, who's the smarty pants that can tell me what to do? What do you think, Lily?
I think you should add your cents up.
We add up all the cents, and then do what?
And so, like I got,
We ignore the numbers. If we add up all the cents, we get a number, and then what?
so you have to make it just like with the whole amount. Like you can't have 160.
Oh, I got you. She's saying, let's do the cents and then change it to dollars. So Lily, I want you to think about this. Strategies were draw a picture, act it out, right? Or make it more simple. This is one of those acted out ones, right? I'm walking into the store. How many things am I buying?
5.
5?
4.
I should say, let me rephrase the question. How many different things are you buying?
3.
Okay. Do each one cost the same amount or are they different? If the prices are different, you can't add it up unless you want to add up the total amount. And if that's what you're saying, you're correct. But if we just add up all the cents, we didn't buy 1 pencil, we bought 6 of them. So we're really not adding 20 cents, we're adding whatever that multiplication is, right? So if that's what you were saying or meaning, you are correct. But if you were telling me, let's just add 20, 59, and 89, yeah, that would get us in the wrong spot. Okay? So math-wise, what operations are we going to use to solve this one? Operations means add, subtract, multiply, and divide. What do you think, Felicity? What operations are we going to use to solve this one? Add, subtract, multiply, divide, or a combination of both? We are going to multiply, and then, perfect, good job. Good job. Is that an intuitive thing, or did you have to think that one through? For some kids, it's like, oh yeah, duh. Other kids, you know, we got to think this one through, right? You think it through because you've read it multiple times. All right. So now let's just do the grunt work here. Let's just do the math. So, Pierce, tell me what to do.
So you need to multiply 20 by 6.
Yeah, so we're going to take the facts. Pierce said we need to multiply. He's going to keep everything in cents, right? Can you do that? Right? Who will say no, you can't do that? Could we keep it in cents? Could we change it to dollars? What would be the least amount of work? Change it to dollars immediately or wait to the end? So most people intuitively always say, let's just wait to the end to change. I agree. And oh, by the way, it doesn't tell us, tell me in dollars how much you spent. Most likely we're going to change it to dollars because we think about things in dollars, not cents. Okay, go ahead, Pierce. So he said 6 times 20. Okay, then what?
59 times 3.
Okay, so he's going to take, everybody see what he's doing. He's taking the numbers and multiplying together individually. A lot of math here, you can make a mistake. So we're going to do multiplication first and then add. Okay, am I talking too fast? All right, so this is what we're doing. Hey, this looks like we did on section number 2 where we had order of operations. We had to do a combination of multiplication and addition. What do we do first, multiplication or addition? Gotta do multiplication. All right, let's see. 6 times 20 is 120. Hey, 59 is awfully close to, what are 3 60s? Subtract 3, right? So what's the answer? Right, 177. And the last one, 89 is awfully close to, so 4 90s would be, and then take 4 away from that, and you get 356. I'm not saying you can always do that, but when the numbers have a 9 in it, it makes it your life a little bit easier. Now, for those of you who need to do scratch work, you had to do scratch. Obviously, we need to do scratch work right here. Is anyone lost? I am really lost. What's going on with this problem? Is this easy, medium, or hard?
Easy.
I'd say this is more medium because there's a lot of math going on. It's easy to understand, right? The understanding was easy, but the calculation kind of more medium. What do we get? I got 653. Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Yay! Except what's the real answer?
$6.
Actually, this is the real answer. I spent, or let's see, Sue spent 653 pennies. Are you happy with that answer? Most people would change it to,
Just put a dollar.
right? We would change it to dollars. Remember, there's 100 pennies in $1, so $6.53.
And that stuff, that's a good deal.
Well, this is more like beginning of a school sale where you go to Staples and they're like, pencil for a penny, you know? Yeah. But
I made a mistake and I actually wrote
You
6.63
you could easily make a mistake on that much math. Me as the math teacher, I will hammer you. That means I will count off a lot of points if you don't know what you're doing. But if you write 663 because you have a little tiny mistake, yet you show me that you knew you're supposed to multiply and then add everything up, hey, you know what you're doing. You made a silly math mistake. You do this in real life, then obviously if you're a cashier, you're going to lose some money. Right? But in a math class, you know, a point or two off for that. Questions? All right, I want to make sure what time we are. 6 or 8:30, right? Really? 8:30? 8:35. All right, plenty of time. Table 4 of 6. Moving on. That's a lot of words, yes? Must be hard and challenging, yes?
No.
Never judge the problem by how long it is, right? Until you read it. You read it and you're like, oh my word, look at this one. Okay, then you can panic. Somebody read. Somebody new. Go ahead, Lily.
4 friends each have a bag of marbles. One bag has 41 marbles, one 36, one 39. And the last has 28 marbles. The friends combine their marbles and the two friends. How many marbles will
What's the one phrase there that crushes you? Like, oh, this isn't easy anymore. What's the one phrase that crushes you?
One bag is 41.
No. What's the one phrase that crushes you? Split them equally. Guess what they're asking you to do there?
Divide by 2. 4.
How many friends are there?
4.
Right. So yeah, that's the one thing, and good job finding that. That's the one that kind of slows you up, right? Oh, I thought I was just going to have to add marbles. No. All right. How many people right now, before you even attempt it, know exactly what to do? Yeah, that's good. Good. So maybe I should shut up and just let you do it.
Yes.
So I will do that. So on your own, you have 1 minute. Get it done. On your own, you got 1 minute. Get it done. Quietly, so that you're not disturbing the thought processes of everyone around you. We're still missing they, right?
Oh, hi.
We're still missing no one. No, we're missing Noah.
No, I'm free. And that's it.
Bree's not here. That's who. Bree Watson. Okay. Check. What?
What do you do for?
You sit there smugly and you make sure your work is done. And remember, you can always get started on your homework early. But make sure you're checking your work. Don't be too smug. Yes. What?
It's been 20 seconds past the minute.
Okay. Apparently I'm too slow. All right, let's see. So we all agreed we got to add up all the marbles and divide by 4. So the key bits of information there was the data. There's our marbles. Occasionally, and this is just mechanics, right? I'll see a kid that knows exactly what to do and they'll do something silly like leave off one of the numbers. So even though you know what you're doing, just be careful. So we add up those 4 numbers. We got to split them equally. That means divide by, well, you saw how easy it was to make that mistake. He said divide by 2. He knows what he's doing, and you make a silly math mistake. So just make sure you confirm, yep, there's 4 friends. All right, so we add those up, and then we divide. I got 152, check my math.
Yep. And then you divide.
And then we divide by 4. 4 goes into 15, what, 3 times with 3 left over? So 30, 38. So each of the friends will have 38 marbles. When I was, I want to say 4th or 5th grade, growing up, marbles became the thing, right?
Yeah.
Every kid had to have marbles. So everyone, you had a sock, right? And you would put all your marbles in your sock. And then when you go out to recess, you would play these games like, I don't know, it was like you're supposed to hit a marble out of a ring or something like that. And then you won the other person's marble, right? There was always that one kid in class that had this sock that, because he was really good at it, he'd get all the marbles. And then in class, literally the sock would break and they all fall on the floor. We did have carpet tile. I just remember that sound of, and then the teacher getting furious, and saying, no more marbles.
I thought you guys did it.
Maybe that happened. I didn't see that, but maybe that happened. I just remember marbles falling all over the floor and the teacher getting really mad and saying, no more marbles.
No, I imagine the teacher picking up the marbles and starting handfully and just like throwing it at the kid.
They had these very large marbles too. I forget what the name of it was.
Yeah, airsoft guns.
And then my dad, who was he was what is called a tool designer. I don't know if he can have that job anymore, but he had all these different size ball bearings. So all these kids were bringing in these glass marbles. So one day I brought in this ball bearing that was like the size of a baseball, right? And I said, all right, who wants to play marbles? All right, here we go. We'll do this one. We'll call it a day because I want to go over the quiz. Juanita had $75 in her check. Oh, we're back to checking accounts. All right. Once again, when I make the statement, I don't want to insult your intelligence. I mean, I literally just mean there are people out there that in 7th grade you may not have been exposed to some of this. What does a deposit mean?
That means attraction.
See what I mean?
Taking stuff out of your bank account.
See what I mean? What did she literally just say? She said it's taking money out of your bank account. She said a deposit is taking money out. It turns out it's the opposite of that.
Withdraw.
It's putting money in. The opposite of a deposit is,
Withdraw.
where does it say? Does it say withdrawal?
No.
But a withdrawal would be the opposite. So
Well,
deposit
technically,
is you're putting money in, withdrawal is you're taking money out.
kind of.
Okay. Now, yeah, I guess it's relative. For the bank's perspective, deposit means, right?
Oh no, I was saying it kind of.
If you want to think about it as physical money, well, then if you deposit, you take money from yourself physically, put it in the bank. You know, grandma sends you $20 for your birthday, and then your mom says, let's go into the bank account. And then she makes you go down to the bank. And does that happen to you guys?
Yeah,
Yes.
No, she said she's
A
gonna
lot.
put it in my bank account.
Oh,
And
and then she spends it? Oh,
Yeah.
No, there's one time mom,
I
she,
hate that.
My
She
mom
was-
literally, I have my on my desk.
Just remember this is being recorded, so don't send your mom to prison, you know,
I
on a
have my
recording.
wallet on my desk, and my mom was going to the garage sale, so she took my wallet because she needed cash.
I've done that. I
I was
literally
like,
have done that.
Someone literally stole.
I've done that to both of my
$150
daughters.
From my wallet. And I was
no.
I pay it back though, but
but I was like,
She-
I've absolutely done
How
that.
long after do you pay it back?
She's liquefied.
So what my general rule is if I take money from my daughters because for cash, then I had to pay back double. So that
She's
so
not
that way
liquefied.
That's how you get rich.
that yes, that is why bankers are rich because they charge interest, right? They don't just give you free money, right?
They rob.
Well, it's not robbing, it's legal, right? And
It's
we have laws that specifically regulate how much can be charged. There's another side of that, which is typically when you put money into a bank, guess what the banker must do?
pay interest to
They
you.
pay interest to you. So that's the other side of the coin, right, so to speak. The only difference is the amount of money that they charge when you get a loan is much more than they give to people that deposit. That's how they make their profit. All right, we're getting off track here. Let's see. Juanita had $75 in her checking account. She made a $95 deposit. Oh, and wrote a check. So is that putting money in or taking money out?
Drawing.
That's withdrawing, right? And another one. Oh, what does another one refer to? A deposit or a withdrawal?
Withdrawal.
How do you know that?
We don't, but we can do that.
We're making an assumption here, right? It says she and wrote a check for 30 and another one, but the previous one said deposit, but it kind of flows English language wise to assume that another one refers to another check that she wrote or a withdrawal. She made another deposit of 50. So this is a combination of what?
Adding and subtracting.
A whole bunch of adding and subtracting. Okay, I like to look at this one. If I do see students make a promise on this one, I think of a timeline, right? Rather than determine what we need to add or subtract, we just think about the starting point. At the starting point, how much money does she have?
165.
How about 75,
75.
right?
It's like
Then what's the very next thing that happens?
she adds 95.
Then she adds to 75, we're going to, and then we're going to, and then we're going to, and then we're going to. So this is kind of more of a timeline. So my strategy here was draw a picture of a timeline. Now, others of you are out there like, wait a minute, I'd rather add up all the additions, add up all the subtractions, and subtract the two. Does that make sense? Could you do that? So some people would say that's more easier. For me, right? I just, because there's a lot of numbers up there. I mean, there's lots of numbers. There's all the numbers right there. So it could be very easy to mistake an adding and a subtracting. The timeline, because I'm doing things one at a time, maybe I have a less chance. I'm not saying I've got the right answer here. There's nothing wrong with, hey, I'm going to add up all the withdrawals, all the deposits, and then do the subtraction. It's kind of up to you. Okay, so let's see, timeline-wise. So add, subtract, dot, right? So there is your timeline. She starts at 75, then she makes a deposit, then she writes one check, then she writes another check, and then she makes a deposit. Okay, could you screw this one up?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, let's see, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4 calculations there. Lots of calculations. Intellectually wise, most people can wrap their head around what's going on here. But oh yeah, really easy to make a silly math mistake, so be careful. What's an unreasonable answer here? And tell me how you know.
A million.
Yeah, but obviously that's unreasonable. I'm saying, well, I'm going to say something weird. What's a reasonable, unreasonable answer? She starts with 75. How much is she adding? That's about 100, and that's 50. So she's adding 150 to 75, right? So that gives her roughly 200 and what's 100 plus these two? Well, that would be 150 plus no 75.
Like
225. And how much are we subtracting roughly?
220.
Round some numbers.
70.
70. So 225 minus 70 is 150. So we better get an answer that's close to 150. Let's see if that's what we get. All right. Once we do all the math, I'm getting 143. Is my answer reasonable?
Yes.
Could I have made a mistake?
Yeah.
But it's a reasonable answer. If I had gotten 10, not reasonable. If I had gotten 200, not reasonable. Okay? Oh, by the way, did I answer the question?
Yes.
No, because we must write our answers in the form of a sentence or phrase. So what's that sentence or phrase, somebody? What's that sentence? What do you got, Ben? Sounds good to me. We good? All right. I need two things. First, I need Elijah. Where you at? Who is sitting next to Elijah? Yes. Okay. I need you to take off your hoodie. Go put it in your locker and come back. And leave it in your locker. All right. I said I was going to do one thing today. What was it? Quiz, with the exception of Gavin. It's not a quiz, it's not a test, it's a quiz. All right, Matt. Chop chop, Pastor Jameson. Lily. Noah. Right. Bo. Parker. And I need you guys to grab your calculators. If they're out in the locker, you don't need it. Felicity, Kira, Felicity, Kira, Nick, Katie, Elijah, Pierce, Malachi, Zay's not here.
I'm here.
Why do I want to say you're absent?
I don't know.
Brianna,
You don't
not
want her
here.
to be.
Abby, Ben, Ace, Jasmine. Good.
Wow, I got it.
All right, who doesn't have a quiz? Yeah, all right, take a look at your quiz.
I seem to get
And I need you guys to be quiet while I go over this. Quiet, please. So obviously, if it says perfect on your paper, you got nothing to calculate. Why? You got a perfect score. For everyone else, I do not put letter grades on anything. That's up to you to calculate. All right, I put a fraction. Guess what that fraction means? The top number, the denominator means, the numerator means, the top number, the numerator means, yes, the top number, the numerator means, how many you got correct? How many you got correct, Noah? Malachi. How many you got correct? The bottom number, the denominator, so this is how many correct, or points I awarded for your correctness. And the bottom number means?
How many?
Not how many questions, but how many points there were on the test. So this is total points. How do you change a fraction to a percent? Anyone? Bueller? No? All right. So this is how it's done, and this is a 7th grade standard. You must know how to change a fraction to a percent. So guess why I do it this way? Guess why I do it this way? It's a sneaky way of getting you to commit this to memory. So you divide the top number by the bottom number, the numerator by the denominator. That's how you change a fraction to a decimal. So divide the top number by the bottom number. Now you have a decimal. How do you change a decimal to a percent? You multiply by 100. In other words, you move the decimal place 2 places to the right. That is your score. All right, I will insult your intelligence. An A goes from what to what? An A goes from what to what? 90 to 100. A B goes from 80 to 89. I do round up, so if it's 89.5, that's an A. A C goes from 70 to 79. And a D, 60 to 69. And anything lower than a 60 is an F. Is anyone lost on that? I take my fraction. I divide top by bottom. Multiply by 100. See you guys tomorrow.
They have a newsletter grid. They have a newsletter grid called B, and that's if you get 0 to 10.
You guys need to go to bed early so that I don't have anyone else sleeping in class. All right, e-learners, check your grades in the Power School. You can see what you got. And remember what I said about retakes if you so desire. See you guys tomorrow. See ya.